Nader.
Mr. Speaker, processing issues were already an issue before COVID-19 hit, especially for the beef and pork sectors. The beef sector has proposed a set-aside program. It's supported by our opposition parties. It's supported by the industry. Will the minister commit to a set-aside program?
Minister of Agriculture.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I can assure my colleague that this is one option that we are looking at very carefully. Thank you.
Nader.
Mr. Speaker, the Cargill facility in Guelph processes nearly 3/4 of all beef in eastern Canada. Can the Minister of Agriculture confirm that there are adequate CFIA officials to maintain that plant?
La Ministre Bibeau.
Honourable Minister Bibeau.
I'm pleased to tell my colleague that we have increased the financing of CFIA by $20 million, especially to make sure that they have all the resources that our food processors need.
Mr. Nader.
Mr. Speaker, Conestoga Meats has halted pork processing for at least 1 week after 7 employees tested positive for COVID-19. What additional resources have been made available specifically to Conestoga Meats to maintain the pork supply here in Canada?
The Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. So just to clarify the situation, it is the responsibility of the business to put in place the right measures to protect their workers. They do that following the recommendation of their local or provincial public health, and the inspectors from CFIA are there to ensure food safety. Thank you.
Mr. Nader.
Mr. Speaker, during these times of COVID-19, when processing capacity is at an extreme limited amount, will the minister for the time being allow provincially inspected facilities to ship meat products across provincial boundaries?
The Honourable Minister of Agriculture.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I will apologize if I did not get the question properly. I can assure my colleague that everything related to food processing is a very top priority for us right now, and we are making sure that the borders remain open so we can make sure that the food supply chain is fluent.
Mr. Nader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'll repeat the question. Meat that comes from a provincially inspected facility, will the minister waive the requirement and allow that meat to go past provincial boundaries?
Honourable Minister.
Thank you to my colleague for repeating the question. I'm trying hard to work in my second language, and I appreciate it. So this is something that we are looking at with CFIA, with the Canadian Food Inspection Agency, when it's needed. If we see a territory or provinces in a facing a food shortage, this is something that can be applied, and obviously it has to be done with the provinces.
Mr. Nader.
Mr. Speaker, communities like mine, where we have the Stratford Festival and Drayton Entertainment, are eager to know the details of the $500 million aid package for arts, culture and sports industry. When will these details be made known, and when will applications open?
The Honourable Minister of Canadian Heritage.
These details, and I'm hoping that they will be made available in the coming days. Thank you.
I have time for one more. Mr. Nader.
Mr. Speaker, various farm organizations and farm groups have been pushing for many months now, before COVID-19 even hit, for a full review of the business risk management programs, including Agri-Invest and Agri-Stability. One of the concerns I hear on a daily basis is that farmers cannot take on more debt. Will the minister commit to a full review of these programs and explore non-debt options for these farmers?
The Honourable Minister of Agriculture.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I can assure my colleague that I'm working very hard with my provincial counterparts to make the business risk management suite of programs much faster and not only rely on loans but on grants. Thank you.